Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, TNT, Tea Time with Tina. So today my tea of choice is turmeric, ginger and turmeric tea. So this particular tea, I personally think it's more for the health aspect of it. Wouldn't say it's much for the taste because it doesn't taste all that great, but it's not bad. But I would say it's more for the ginger and the turmeric health benefits. But yeah, so that's my tea of choice today. So if you don't have your cup of tea, then you can go grab it. Excuse me, pause the video, go grab it, and come on back so we can sip and chat. So as you saw in the title, we're going to discuss how it was finding out, I'm sorry, my shirt, how it was finding out that I had cancer. So the first time I was diagnosed with cancer was back in 2010. I went into the hospital for a hysterectomy because I was having a lot of female problems. And during my hysterectomy surgery is when they found a rare cancer called STUMP, S-T-U-M-P. My family was in the waiting room waiting for me to, come out from surgery because I believe my surgery was only supposed to be like maybe 5 hours or something like that. My surgery ended up being more like 12 hours. And it wasn't that the surgery took that long. It was that they found this foreign object inside of me. And so the doctors weren't sure what it was. And then of course they wanted to look around and make sure there was nothing else there. So it took a long time. No one informed my family. So they were like literally panicked, thinking that I passed away, thinking the worst, obviously. But that was a pretty hard experience for my family. My husband and my mom were there at the hospital at the time. So they found the cancer. They removed the cancer. But I did have to go through cancer testing for the next 5 years just to make sure the cancer didn't come back in any other parts of my body. So, and I had to do that. I think at first it was like every 3 months, and then went from every 3 months to 6 months, and then kind of just went out from there. But I didn't have cancer anymore at that, but for those 5 years I was fine. Finding out I had the cancer was devastating. I was in that hospital for about 3 weeks. I should have went home, I think after like week 1, but they kept me an additional, I guess it was probably a week or two, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I don't exactly remember, but it was a while. And they didn't want to send me home until they knew exactly what they had taken out of my body. I do remember a lot of students and doctors and coming in the room. It was a lot of them. Like, I was like, what is going on? All these people kept coming in my room, just shaking my hand, wanting to meet me. It's like, where are all these people coming from? Like, it was like I was a celebrity. It was really weird. It's like, what in the world is going on? So, because I didn't know, they never told me anything. Now that I look back, I know why. It was because they wanted to see who this woman was that this weird thing came out of, something they had never seen before. That second to third week when they released me, the doctor came in, sat on the bed and said, it's something I need to talk to you about. And I said, okay. And she said, I said, yeah, because I'm wondering, why am I still here? And she said, well, we're just going to go ahead and tell you that we found cancer in you when we did your surgery. And I said, cancer? Hold on, tea time, guys, 1 second. Ooh, I said, cancer? I said, what do you mean? And she said, excuse me, I'm sorry. She went into telling me what type of cancer it was, what I need to do for the next 5 years. I've already talked about that, stuff like that. So of course I cried and I was like, what in the world? Like, what do you this is crazy. Unbelievable. Like, unbelievable. I can't even really describe how I felt in those moments. But I was strong enough. I got through it. I went for my testing and I was fine. So all these years passed. I'm going to say at year 10 is when I found out I had cancer for the second time. So I was having these really, really sharp pains on my left side of my body, and they were kind of trickling down into my legs. And it was almost like it was giving me some trouble walking because the pain was so like intense, like these really like sharp, like piercing pains. And I kept going to the doctors and I was like, something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. This pain is just not normal. I'm hurting. I mean, it was very, 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 very horrible pain. And I couldn't even lay on my left side. Like, it was bad. So I went to a hospital near where I live. They ran tests and they told me basically, oh, you're fine. We don't see anything wrong. They send me home. So the next night, I went back to the emergency again. I said, look, I can't take it. I can barely do anything. I'm in so much pain. They checked me again. They did a CT scan. They did an ultrasound. They did a X-rays. They came back and said, oh, you're fine. There's nothing. We don't see anything. We ended up driving to a hospital that is about 45 minutes away from where we live, and which is a really, really good hospital. That's actually the ones who found the first cancer that I had. So we got to the hospital. I explained to them what I was going through. I explained to them that the hospital that I went to had done all these tests. They said nothing was wrong, but there's no way. I'm not in this much pain for nothing. So the doctor said, well, let me go ahead and contact that hospital, see if I can get the results, and then we can just go from there. I said, okay. So they did that. I'll say about an hour later, they came back in the room and they said, well, this is weird because we're not sure how they didn't see this, but we saw something on your kidney, on your left kidney. We're not sure what it is yet because we need to run more tests, but there's definitely something there. I'm like, okay. So they ran, more of their own tests and stuff like that. And they said, we're not really, they didn't want to tell me much. I guess they wanted to send it to like somebody who really knew about this type of stuff. So they said, we're going to send you home with something to keep you a little bit more comfortable, pain medication, whatever. And the doctor will be calling you in about a day or so once we get the results back. I was here alone at home, and 2 days later, I got the phone call, and the doctor said, there's something I need to discuss with you about your results. I said, okay. I'm waiting for the call, anticipating the call. Couldn't sleep. I was just like on edge because I wanted to know, like, what is this? He said, well, we found a mass on your left kidney. And I said, okay, so what does that mean? My heart is racing right now as if it was happening in that moment. And I said, sorry, guys, I'm a very emotional person, especially when I talk about this stuff, because it was such a traumatic time in my life that it's hard to talk about. But I'm going to get into it. So he says, we found a tumor. And I said, or a mass. He said, well, I said, is it cancer? That's, obviously the first thing you ask. He said, we believe so. I said, okay. So you believe so or it is? He said, no, it's cancer. I said, okay. So what now? He said, we're going to go ahead and remove that kidney. And hopefully once we take the kidney out, then everything will be fine. We will have to do more tests to make sure the cancer hasn't spread and stuff like that. But we're going to go ahead and take the kidney out. I said, you got to be kidding me. So literally I'm on the phone with the doctor and I dropped to my knees and I'm like screaming and yelling and crying and like, oh man, it was a very crazy moment for me. Like I couldn't believe it. I'm like, not again. What is going on with me? Like, God, why? And you're not supposed to question. You're not supposed to question, but just try to accept what's going on with yourself, So, tea time, guys, 1 second. He said, we'll go ahead and schedule the surgery in a couple more days. We'll give you a call to set everything up. I said, okay. So I got the call about maybe 3 days later, telling me what I need to do, how to prep and all that stuff. And my surgery was done within about 4 to 5 days after that phone call, my surgery was done. It was probably one of the hardest surgeries that I've ever had. I've had other surgeries, and I'll get into those in other videos as well, but the recovery process was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with in my entire life. So they went in through my belly button and they did like 4 puncture holes. And they also cut me on the side, on my left side. I have a pretty long incision. It's probably about, so the pain of the scars and the healing process was pretty tough. It humbles you like never before. It makes you very dependent on people, and it makes you feel like you're a burden, And I kind of felt like that at times because I literally couldn't do anything for myself. I couldn't, and this might be too much TMI, but I couldn't even wipe myself. I couldn't shower. I couldn't do anything, for an extended period of time. It was very, very, very tough. I believe it was because of that incision was just so long, and and maybe just taking the kidney out itself. I'm not sure, but it was a really tough process, and I'm just so thankful that I have the support that I do, because if I didn't, I just don't know how I would have made it. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to make this YouTube channel, because often we go through things in life and we feel like we're alone, and we feel like nobody understands, because I'm that person. When I go through just daily pain, or when I go through different surgeries, or when I go get different diagnoses and stuff like that, I often feel like I'm by myself. But after I did the article in the paper, and I did the news channel, and I talked in another video about a podcast that I went on, I started to put my story out there, and I started to realize how many people were in the same position as me. And I started to realize how many people that I can actually uplift and hopefully support and help through whatever they might be going through. It helps so much to know that you're not by yourself. We're in this battle together. Having kidney cancer, God has been so good to me, because both cancers were found in stage 1. So, it's tough, but when you have support from other people, it helps you so much. And when you actually know that you're not in this fight by yourself, you're not by yourself. We're in this together. And the more the merrier, the more support the better. The stronger the numbers, the bigger the army. Hopefully I can inspire you and help you through whatever you might be facing, because I definitely know how life can just beat you up. I even mentioned, I'm not sure if it was in the paper, I'm not sure where I mentioned this at, but I said that I felt like I was in a boxing ring. I think it might have been on the podcast show. I felt like I was in a boxing ring. You just keep getting knocked down. You got to keep getting up. You just get knocked down and keep getting up. That's how I literally felt. Like I was just getting beat up and just had to lift myself back up, because it was like one blow after another. And doctors would just be like, "Oh, you're just different. You're just you. You're just unique. You're just Tina. I'm like, oh my goodness. But God won't put more on you than you can bear, and believe that. That's the honest to God truth. He won't put more on you than you can handle. And I know that because I've gotten through all of these obstacles in my life. So just know whatever you're facing or going through, you will get through. You will be okay. Just keep your faith. Stay strong. Stay in prayer. Because that's literally the only thing that's going to get you through whatever you're going through. And that's just the honest truth, and my faith has kept me strong enough to be able to come out to people about all these things that I've been through, opening up about intimate details about myself that I had never shared with anyone. So this is different for me, sharing my story and my testimony, but it's necessary. I'll get in another future video, I'll get into what made me decide to do all of this. Because there was a moment, a very pivotal moment, where I said, this is it. It's no going back, So I'll get into that in another video. But guys, this video is getting a little long, so I don't want to keep you guys too much longer. But I do want to just thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my videos. And I hope that I can help and inspire you. I hope that we will continue this journey together and get to know each other better. If you have any questions or want to know anything further, or just want to share your own experiences, leave it in the comment section. Remember to subscribe to my channel, like my videos, and I look so forward to seeing you guys in my next video. Thank you so much, and God bless. Mwah.